Roma was a team that I counted out for a while in the Champions League race. Never thought that they would go and beat Inter, and they've thrown themselves back into the hunt. So it's very hard to predict.
Papa, you might as well blindfold me and I'll just throw darts like this against the wall because I have no idea.
Is that any different to what you all normally do?
It's
Most of the predictions
quite
here.
accurate.
In terms of Champions League football, Italy have got 4 places this season compared to last season when they had 5. And this is a look at the teams that really could be pushing to play in the most prestigious club competition. Bologna, Juventus, Lazio, now Roma all of a sudden as well after winning 18 in a row, and Fiorentina as well in there. Why the face, Grell?
I need an Adderall to, where was that? What's that drug that makes you focus?
That's the one.
To digest that graphic.
Oh, come on. This isn't a bad one. This is just the games that they've got coming up, the games they've got left. And I suppose you could say Juventus, crazy. They're in 6th place as things stand. Bologna are up there. Atalanta all of a sudden and now on the cusp of Champions League football when at one point in the season we thought they were in the Scudetto race. So, Marco, which 4 have you got in the Champions League next season with Napoli and Inter?
It is so hard to predict. I thought I knew, even up until a couple of weeks ago, and it's been wide open. Because Juventus loses to Parma, because there's a match between Juventus and Bologna, and with the form that Bologna is in right now, playing some of the best football that we've seen in Italy, that could be the decider. I still would say, if you made me bet, I would say Juventus, but it's becoming hard to even suggest that because of their performances as of recently, and because Bologna just looks so good. Even this game with Roma. Roma was a team that I counted out for a while in the Champions League race. Never thought that they would go and beat Inter, and they've thrown themselves back into the hunt. So it's very hard to predict.
Papa, you might as well blindfold me and I'll just throw darts like this against the wall because I have no idea.
Is that any different to what you all normally do?
It's
Most of the predictions
quite
here.
accurate. It sounds like a lot of our preseason predictions when I said Moise Kean was going to be a bust. I didn't expect Juventus to drop points against Parma. I thought they'd keep riding that Tudor wave. I didn't have Roma going from the second half of the table and making one of the most incredible runs, two-thirds of the season under Ranieri, as well as they have. I had, I think, Roma and Juventus being 3rd and 4th, but now Atalanta I feel better about with their recent win. I think it's going to be Juventus, 4th place. I'm going to stick with Juventus.
So hang on, you've got Napoli, Inter, Atalanta, and Juventus. Yes. Grell, what about you?
I'm not sure.
But I'll change my mind at the end of the day.
It's difficult to say. My heart tells me Roma because of what the job that Ranieri's done, and from where they were when he took over to accomplish this is just as good an accomplishment as anything, even for him in his illustrious career. And then the other one, you would think Juventus, but I don't know. Like, for me, Igor Tudor's come in. It doesn't look like it's changed a lot. It's a lot of possession against Parma. They just come off a loss. A lot of possession, 2 shots on target, not much to show for it. Really bad performances from Vlahovic again and other players that they brought in to sign to do things that not doing it for them. The match at Bologna is going to be a difficult one for them as well. So it could look like a Bologna-Roma. I think that's sneaking the top with Atalanta, obviously.
Well, how are you going to have Bologna and Roma in there? You know,
Who is it?
So you got top 4, not 5 this season.
Yeah, okay. So either Roma or Bologna.
Yeah.
I like.
Unless you think Atalanta's going to drop out.
No, I like Bologna in that spot.
Bologna. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And
There we go.
It's amazing that.
Who did you go for?
I said Juventus, but that's really just off of the history of the team. And I thought a bad season for Juve would have just been being in the top 4. It would be a disaster. Them and Milan would be the 2 biggest disappointments in the Serie A if they're both out of Champions League football next year.
Which would be the bigger disappointment? Because obviously Milan could win these 2 trophies. Yes, they're out of Champions League football, but Juventus not being in Champions League football with nothing to show for it, would they be a bigger disappointment?
With the money that they spent this summer? Yeah.
It would be a massive disappointment. Them, Milan.
But
right?
which one more, would you say? If you had to pick the most
Probably
disappointing
Juventus because of the money they spent, because of all the euphoria around Thiago Motta. We were all so excited. I think, unless I'm misremembering, last summer when they brought in, Douglas Luiz, double-digit goals and assists in the Premier League. Wow, the best league in the world. He did that. What is he going to do in our league? Not much. Tone Koopmeiners, one of the best midfielders in Serie A. He's been so down this season. Nico Gonzalez, 15 goals a season from a winger. This is going to work great. So it's so difficult to predict. And then Thiago Motta, who we thought, well, he's going to go on for years and he's going to build a new dynasty just the way that Conte built it. He's gone. He's unemployed at the moment. So that has been by far the biggest disappointment.
I'll also say, unfair, though, just to put it all on Thiago Motta. There's Giuntoli as well that has to take full responsibility. And
What did
I've said
Giuntoli
this.
do to you, other than make bad signings?
I call it the way I see it. And for me, Thiago Motta is a good manager. He's proved that he's a great manager. At a bigger club, okay, we haven't seen that yet at Juventus. But there was a lot of disconnect when they brought in Colt Miners and they brought in Luis, and Luis was not playing from the start. Did Thiago Motta even ever want him? Was that just a Giuntoli deal on the side? I mean, the Kolo Muani deal, it has me scratching my head. The Kelly deal has me scratching my head. I mean, I could go on and on and on about how they overpaid for Nico Gonzalez and so many other ways. And so I think we can't be too harsh on Thiago Motta because I think he has a bright future.
But you could say the same about Milan. Yeah, about Milan and the players that they've brought in and the money that they've spent on them. Half of them sitting on the bench that can't even get into the starting 11.